on the ABC radio today, which really sums up the madness of our times. There's a report on the building of a new gas terminal, Port Kembla, to take in gas imported from overseas. From overseas to a country that's actually sitting on oceans of gas, but now thinks it's too dirty to drill for it, meaning we're running out. What an indictment of our global warming stupidity. Here's the head of the company building this terminal.
I would say, go so far as to say the outlook is dire. We're facing into a critical structural shortfall, and by 2028 the decline will be as much as 40% from current supply in southern markets.
Now, we do export lots of our own gas, that's true, but that's because of contracts we now can't break. But we haven't developed enough gas fields for ourselves because of global warming. For instance, in Victoria, the government banned all gas exploration on land for 9 years. Part of it, fear of fracking, which is still banned, by the way. One of our banks has refused to invest $1 directly to any new gas field, or none of them actually. None last year would invest $1. And ANZ this year said it's transitioning our oil and gas lending to align with the goals of the Paris Agreement to slash emissions. That's the biggest bank. Well, you take the huge Narrabri gas project in New South Wales. That's actually gas meant for Australia. The developers have been trying to get that mine approved for 16 years and counting. And it's being fought by environmentalists, identifying as Aboriginal, who say, but what about global warming? And they actually won. The left-wing federal court said, oh yes, what indeed about climate change? Got to stop. And this kind of madness is why we're now going to be using gas shipped from overseas in gassy ships to use right here. Global warming, you know. Joining us, the opposition's environment spokesman, Senator Jonathon Duniam. Senator, look, I'll talk to you later about another thing that I really want to talk to you, but what do you plan to do if you win government to make sure this war against gas development is stopped?
Well, Andrew, it's good to be with you. And can I say it is madness? You've used the word that I often use to describe the situation we're in, the fact that we are, frankly, cutting our nose off to spite our face. We should have laws that facilitate investment, that facilitate activities like gas exploration that we need to grow our economy, to keep the lights on, to keep warm in winter, rather than blocking it the way we are. And Peter Dutton made a commitment that our laws, if we're elected at the next election, around environmental approvals, will never ever again see things like 16 years to get a gas project or a mine approved. We would stop groups of people masquerading as Indigenous Australians, as using their identity as a means to stop projects like the ones we've heard about this week. When you've got legislation that enables groups to do that, we are not doing the right thing by the people of Australia who need these resources, who need these projects. So we would do everything we can to ensure that we have the gas we need and the jobs that go with these projects by fixing the laws as a matter of priority.
I've never seen such willful self-denial, this vandalism. We also had the Prime Minister this year say he was banning any mining of the huge uranium deposit at Jabiluka. And instead he'd make that site, that mine site, part of the Kakadu National Park. That's another energy source we may need being locked up. Would you reverse that decision?
Well, I think we'd have to look at the process this government's gone through to make that declaration. I'd also note that, of course, we have a new parks and new mining minister, thankfully, in the Northern Territory after last weekend's elections. That's a very good outcome. But I am very sceptical about the process that the Albanese Labor government went through to declare this park. We do need that resource, and we need to make sure we have everything available to us in our interests to bring down power prices, to ensure that we can attract investment that we need. So that's certainly something we'll look very closely at. But I think given the lack of transparency on this decision, along with so many others by this government, there is something very fishy we need to get to the bottom of here.
It's just unbelievable. Coal, gas, uranium under our feet, and increasingly we're stopping ourselves from using it. There's also the decision of Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek to effectively ban a $1 billion gold mine because of secret Aboriginal business. Plibersek is now even considering a new report telling him to use heritage laws to stop plans to mine and drill South Australia's Lake Torrens for copper, uranium and gold. What's the story with the Lake Torrens? Should we allow mining there?
Well, I honestly am becoming very sceptical about a lot of the claims that are being made. I don't know the full details behind the claim over Lake Orpheus, but there has to be a way that cultural heritage can coexist with economic development in the same way that good environmental outcomes are not mutually exclusive from economic activity. So Tanya Plibersek is taking this giant sledgehammer to these projects that need to go ahead under the guise of protecting Aboriginal cultural heritage. But we are destroying economic opportunities and making it harder to do business. So I am going to wait and see what she does. I saw a press release from the Greens calling on her to do everything she can to block this exploration activity. And that should tell you everything. And this is what we have to guard against: a green tail wagging a Labor dog. This is how all of these policies and decisions are coming about, and I hope the Minister does the right thing, gets the balance right and allows the mine to proceed. It doesn't need to stop.
Senator Jonathon Duniam, thank you so much for your time.